Hello and welcome to this session. In this session, I will discuss RFM analysis. So from examination point of view, you will be asked to explain the three terms of RFM analysis and demonstrate RFM analysis, which means how it is conducted. Secondly, you may be asked to explain how RFM analysis is used for segmentation purpose. So in both of these two questions, you are required to explain the meaning of RFM analysis, plus you will need to explain the different steps of RFM analysis. So let us first look at what is RFM analysis. So rather moving directly to this term RFM, which actually is an acronym of recency, frequency, and monetary. In marketing, it is very well known fact that 80% of the business comes from 20% of your customers. Now, the point is, if my 80% of business is coming from these 20% of the consumers, so it is my responsibility to figure out who these 20% of my customers are. So this RFM analysis help you to identify these 20% of your customers. So in a sense, RFM analysis is a technique which is used to understand the customers in a more better, in a more practical manner. And how do we understand the customers better? The customers are understood based on their recent purchase they made, the frequency with which they place their orders, and the amount of money they spend on these purchases. So in this manner, RFM analysis is a quantitative technique which help you to rank and then group customers based on recency, frequency, and monetary total of their recent transactions to identify the best customers. So this definition include three important things. Number one, it is explaining what RFM stand for. Number two, it is explaining how it is going to work. And number three, for what purpose it is used. So in this manner, this definition is little, I would say, comprehensive. Now let us look at some other aspect or some other utility of RFM analysis. So once I conduct the RFM analysis, I may got to know that who are my loyal consumers, who are my recent consumers, and who are my valued customers. And if I figure out these three categories, or maybe some more categories, like the customers who spend more, so big spenders, right? You may have some other categories as well. So if you are able to identify or figure out these different categories, then definitely from the marketing point of view, we will be able to plan different programs for these different segments of the consumers, so that I can capitalize on those segments which are contributing more in my business. So this is what the purpose of RFM analysis is. Now let us look at what these different terms mean individually. So the recency is about analyzing how much time has elapsed since customer's last activity, which means that how long has it been since a customer placed its last order. Frequency is about analyzing how often a customer transacted at the store or interacted with the brand during a particular time. Or you may say that how often does a customer offer. And monetary, as the name implies, is about analyzing how much money has the customer spent on company's brand or store. So it basically about what is the amount of money that customer spent, right? So these are the three things which we will be analyzing in this analysis. So for the demonstration purpose of how this work, how uh, how RFM analysis work, let us consider one hypothetical data set. So this I have created. In the first column, I have considered who are my customers. So customers C1, C2, C3, C4. These are 5 different customers. And this second column is about recency. Recency is basically calculated in number of days. Because if you remember, recency is about how long it has been since the customer last place order. So if I see that here the value is 10, it means that this customer C1 placed his or her last order 10 days ago. And if I see customer number 3, so customer number 3 placed his order 2 days back. So this customer is more recent as compared to customer number C1. So this is about recency. Now look at the frequency, the third column, frequency. Frequency, it is actually calculated in terms of numbers. So frequency was about how often does a customer order. Does a customer order. So if I see that customer C1 order 20 or he placed 20 orders. Customer C2 he placed 15 order in a given time. So we will be having a limit of the time period. So for example, we may have last 1 month as a time period or 1 quarter as a time period. So whatever it is, during that particular duration, we'll see and count how frequent these customers were. So we found that customer C1 placed 20 orders in that particular time frame. Similarly, this customer C5, he placed just 3 orders, right? And since how long he placed last order? 8 days back he places last order. So this is recency and frequency. Now the third term is monetary. Uh, Monitor is about what is the uh, average or average amount that a customer spend. So it is calculated in monetary term. In monetary term. So say for example, you may consider it like rupee. So customer C1 on an average spent 1600 rupees. Customer C2 spent 2500. Customer C5 spent 7000 rupees. So this is the notation of this given data set, and now this may be helping you in getting more understanding about these three terms. Moving ahead, because our purpose is to look at how RFM analysis work. So first of all, what we'll do is we will calculate the independent recency score, and then frequency score, and then monetary score. And finally, in the next step, we will be driving the rank, because as I mentioned in this definition part, that this technique is used to quantitatively rank and then group the customers. So we'll see to this in the third step. Before moving to that step, our second step include the calculation of recency score, followed by the calculation of frequency score, and finally the monetary score. So just look at how we calculate the recency score. Now, this is the blank table. What we will do here is we will refer the given data set that I have mentioned here, C1 to C5, and these are the scores 10, 3, 2, 6, and 8, right? So I just mentioned here so that we will be referring to this we will be C1, C2, C3, C4, and C5, and the recency score were 10, 3, 2, 6, 8. So 10, 3, 2, 6, and 8. These are the values. Now see, what we'll do here is we will see which customer has placed recent order. So in this given data set, we can see that the customer 3 placed his order very recently as compared to other. He placed his order just 2 days back. So first of all, I write C3 here. And what is the recency? Is 2 here. What it means? It means that it just 2 days back when customer C3 placed order. Now we'll move to the next customer who is recent in terms of placing order. So then comes C2. So we will write C2 here, and he placed his order 3 days back, and then C4 6 days back, and then C5 8 days back, and C1 10 days back. So this is the recency arrangement. Now we'll give rank based on the recency. We'll get rank. So obviously I'll give the first rank to the most recent customer, which is customer number C3. So first rank will be to customer C3, then second rank, third rank, and fourth rank, and then fifth rank. And here we'll give the R score, that is the recency score. So I give maximum score. So I am here giving the score from 1 to 5. Obviously, I'll give the highest score to the first rank holder. Highest score to first rank holder. And then to the next. So I'll give 5 here. Score of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right. So rank 1 to the most recent customer, and because he is the most recent and holding rank 1, so I have given R score of 5 to this customer holding rank 1. Similarly, we'll do the similar kind of calculation for the frequency score. So now we'll see the F score. Now if you remember how we calculated the R score, so we refer to the recency value. Like in case of frequency, we refer to frequency value. So I'll write here the frequency, and then based on their frequency, I'll give them a rank, and based on rank, I'll give them a F score, and F score from 1 to 5. 5 score will be given to rank holder 1. So frequency was about how often does a customer order? How often? So any customer who is more frequent will be considered first over here. So if I look back to this data set, original data set, I can see that the customer number C1 is most frequent. C2 is next, C3 is then further third in terms of ranking. So it's already sorted kind of frequency. So 20, 15, 12, 8 and 3. So 20, 15, 12, 8 and 3. So this way my customer number 1, customer number 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I'll definitely give first rank to the customer 1 because of his maximum frequency. Second to the fifth customer number 2, third, fourth and fifth. And here I'll give maximum score of 5, 4, then 3, 2 and 1. This is how I have given the F score based on how often or how frequent they were in coming back to that brand or to that store. Last is the monetary. Of course, in this case, I'll refer to the amount they spent during their purchase. So monetary. So if you can refer and you can see that the maximum amount spent by this customer number C5. So C5 based on monetary value will be holding rank number 1 and maximum score 5. And then followed by the next largest spender, who is customer number C3, 3600 rupees he spent, followed by C2, 2500, and then C1 and finally C4. So I write all these value here. So 7,000 customer C5 spent 7,000 rupees. Then C3 spent 3,600, and then C2 he spent 2,500, and then C1 1,600, and then C4 1,000 rupees. Based on these monetary values, which is actually in rupees here, I'll give a rank, and based on their rank I'll give them a M score. M score for monetary score. And again this will be from 1 to 5, 5 to the maximum. So rank number 1, 2, rank 3rd, rank 4th, and rank 5th. Why rank 5th? Because he spent least amount, right? And definitely I'll give score of 5 to this value. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you may think of a lot of combinations here, that what if I have such customer who spend almost similar, like there may be a case that C3 spent 2,500 and also C2 spent 2,500. In that case I'll definitely give the same rank to these two fellow, and I'll give the same score to these two. So there could be different kind of combinations for the simplicity and to make you understand how this RFM analysis work. This is one of the method. This is one of the method how we can conduct RFM analysis. So this is the simplest one. Now, once we have allocated all the scores like R score, F score, and M score, the last thing which is remaining here is the calculation of RFM score. So when I say RFM score, it means I'm going to I'm going to take the combined score. So these are the customers C1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So RFM score will be calculated as what is the R score for C1. So R score for C1 was 5. So if we go back and see R score, here is R score for customer number C1. It is 1, right? For customer number C1, the R score was 1, and F score was 5 for the same customer, and 2 was the M score. So here we'll write 1 plus 5 plus 2. So that was the individual F score, that was the individual M score, and that was the F score, R score, sorry. And now we'll take the sum of these. So this is 8. Similarly, we'll do for the C2, C3, 4, and 5, and I have already done it. So I'm just writing here 4 plus 3, and then 5 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 12, and then 3 plus 2 plus 1, and finally 2 plus 1 plus 5. And just for the cross check, let us see any like C4. We'll see what is the R score, F score, M score for C4. So here we mention 3 to 1. So R score for customer number C4 is 3. Customer number 4, and monetary was 2, and sorry, frequency score was 2 and monetary score was 1. This is how it was 3 to 1 equal to 6. What we'll do next is we'll take the average of RFM score, and it would be 8 divided by 3 because there are 3 factors only. This will come 6.2.6. Similarly 11 by 3, this will be 3.6. 12 by 3, this will be 4, and then 6 by 3, this will be 2, and 8 by 3, this will be 2.6. Now based on these average scores, what we will do is we will classification of customers. We can see that the maximum score goes to C3. So this C3 is our best customer. And then C2 is the big spender. He spent more money or good amount of money. We can see that this customer number C1 and C5, for both of these the value is of value of average of RFM is 2.6 and 2.6. What we can see about them is that either they are visiting frequently or they are spending more, which means even if they are not that much frequent, but whatever be their visit, they spend more, and if they are not spending much, they are coming frequently, which means that they are quite loyal. You may give some other term, maybe this is too little superlative adjective, but I'm considering them as loyal customers to both of these. Now if you look at this value of 2, which is the least in this case, I would say that this fellow is coming quite less in terms of numbers, spending even quite less amount. So he may be the recent customer. I need to I need to follow up this customer so that I can better evaluate the pattern in which this customer is shifting his recency, frequency, and monetary aspect. So you may consider this entire RFM analysis as a process of classifying the customers into certain categories, and this is how this been conducted. I hope that I may have cleared you how this RFM analysis is done. So thank you so much for this, and I will be coming up with the another session on the another technique of marketing analytics. Thank you so much.